Everyone take a nice deep breath, please. I want to welcome you to this special healing activation of your new anatomy. This is with the WOW Empress, AliNICOLE WOW. I want you to just settle into a comfortable place within yourself. This will be a time of expanding into the true template of your true soul's purpose. While you're here, your unique individuality, activating your true soul's core intention. Before we get started, I just want to preface this activation of this new awakening to your new anatomy. And this is from an energetic perspective, or what some would know to be the subtle energy body. And this is in a non-New Age format. As this is taking place, as I mentioned, this will be about stepping into your individuality, your spiritual template, your soul's purpose template. And this is not attached to any format of traditional spirituality or religion. And so though there are many perspectives and schools of thought in terms of the energy body, in terms of higher awareness, spiritual consciousness, but this activation is about what this means for you. And certainly there are elements, concepts from different paradigms and different perspectives that may be meaningful to your journey, to this activation. But within this activation, there will be new fundamentals, new foundations, new formalities, and new functionalities to whatever perspective that comes to your awareness, or any perspective that you've leveraged in the past, or maybe currently leveraging. This is a new moment. And I want you to settle into this now moment. This now moment. Let's take a nice deep breath, please. And before we get started, I want you to imagine yourself as this blank slate, a blank canvas. Space of divine neutrality, where you step outside of everything you've known about a purpose for life, your soul's mission, your spiritual awareness, your calling, your truth, any and everything that you've ever known about any perspectives or schools of thoughts around any of those that I named. And I'm going to invite you to actually step even out and beyond that which I've said, which is in a space of neutrality, a space of the unknown. And in this space is your truth template. This holds information about your new anatomy, your new energy body, your new relevance for your now time life, mission and purpose. Why you're here now. And while healing is imperative during this time of this new activation, let's be in this space, stepping into your unique individuality, your new soul and spiritual template. I may reference it as several things because it certainly is more than just one core objective. But this information will be unique to you, and that's what we want to activate and ground and anchor during this time. So take 3 deep breaths, please. Now that we've stepped outside of everything that you've ever known about certain perspectives and concepts, and we've expanded, even outside of that, we've gone beyond. So now be in this space of your unique template. And just feel into this energy. We'll be in this space for just a few more moments. Breathe. And if there's any thoughts that come to mind, anything that comes into your awareness that this space has presented to you, I want you to sit with that knowing, with that awareness. Just a few more moments, please. Take another nice deep breath, please. Okay. So as we start into the next phase of this process, I just want to mention that it is important for you to be in that blank slate of yourself, being outside of all that you've ever known, so that as we move forward in this process, the new fundamentals, the new foundations, the new formations, and the new functionalities can really ground itself and anchor itself within really a quantum metamorphosis process. This is where your evolutionary soul, so to speak, it merges with this now time-space reality. And during this process, you'll hear me use and leverage certain languages from or concepts from different paradigms, but just know that they are operating in a completely different frequency, completely different foundation. So just be with this new awareness that all of what you are hearing and experiencing is anew. So I'm going to take a moment to talk about your new anatomy, your new energy body. How this is so important, how it is vital to the next phase of this expanded life and purpose that you are here to facilitate, because you are facilitating a divine way of being, a divine way of being this, I should say. In order to be this facilitator of this expanded divine living, you must first be facilitating this higher level of beingness within yourself. You are here to exude, if you will, this higher state of existence that gives off such a frequency of activation to others who are ready to be a part of this greater expansion, this greater context of our existence. But it's important in this moment that you realize the importance of your existence and the accumulation of your journey, all the experiences that now meet in this now moment to divinely assimilate into this new template. Within this new template, your new anatomy has the information that is specifically for you and how you function in this new experience. This is important because there's a lot of information that's out there that we have access to. And it can be very confusing in terms of what is right for you. But within this new anatomy, that information, it will rise to the top in your awareness. And then certainly some of the external information can be helpful in helping you to understand a little bit more in terms of what is right for you. But as you approach it, you will feel the metamorphosis and new foundations and new formations and new functionality of that information. The deep encoding within you, which holds your new DNA, it's activated and it facilitates for you the expansion of your new anatomy. And so without getting too deep into a lengthy lesson, so to speak, the overall objective or primary goal of me even bringing this up was just to make you aware that you do have a new anatomy that is beyond the current anatomy that you're aware of. And that's what we want to focus on during this time. But before we can actually really get into activating a higher level or deeper context of awareness for this new anatomy, there are things that still need to be healed. And they can be healed in a very gentle way. And honestly, the healing is more like an awareness. This is a new form of healing in a more gentle way. Not having to revisit past traumas or even stay so focused on the content in a sense of energetic debris, so to speak. The healing is about focusing into the new, really revealing why you're here as a healer. Because in that revelation is really where you will find that your true healing takes place. And so the awakening of this new anatomy will certainly reveal to you your greater purpose for being here and what this new template of your individuality holds really for you as a healer. So I want you to take 3 nice deep breaths, please. And as you're breathing, what I am going to do is set an intention to activate a newer and higher expanded expression of your energy body, your subtle energy body. So we will be touching on the chakras, primarily focusing on the main chakras. And then I will open up the space for the higher activation of what I call the Ascension Chakra, getting into your 6th seventh and eighth chakras. And expanding it actually into the higher aspect really of the sixth, eighth, and ninth. For the seventh, eighth, and ninth. What's interesting in this moment is that as the sixth keeps coming up, that means that there is insight, deeper insight that wants to be revealed before going into those ascendant chakras. So we'll see what your brow, your third eye, what wisdom it holds that is really relevant before going into the ascendant, your seventh, eighth, and ninth. So the intention that is coming to my awareness at this moment to set for the activation of this more expansive expression of the energy body and your chakras is that you are opening up to the field of your truth. The field of your truth. And what's coming to me in this moment is that the reason why it's important to open up to your field of truth because it isolates you within your template. So you're not opened up to different energies and different realms and different portals, different fields of spirituality. You're opening up to the unique portal of your truth, your template. That is the most safe and sacred source-based connection that you can ground at this point. And this is important because, as I mentioned in the opening, that though I leverage certain language and concepts, this is a very non-new age vibration. Again, not opening up to different energies and different spiritual guides or any of that. Just the truth of your new anatomy, the truth of your individuality, your individual energy body, and the information that it contains unique to you. So take a deep breath, please. And with that intention, I'm going to quickly activate your main chakras. We're going to start with the root chakra. And I want you to focus on the color red. And I want you to ask your root chakra, What is the new foundation, the new formation, and the new functionality that you need to be most aware of in activating this new energy body anatomy? Take a deep breath, please. You may get a word, feeling, whatever that is. I want you to just sit with that for a moment. So let's breathe that in. And I call forth the activation for that into your new anatomy. Take a nice deep breath, please. Now we move up into your Sacral Chakra. Now I want you to focus on the color orange. What's coming to mind right now is requesting information about this higher or heightened sense of creativity. Creation at its finest is what is coming to me right now. Creation at its finest, which really represents that really divine source potential. So as you focus on the color orange, and you focus on that creation at its finest, that source creation at its finest, ask for the wisdom in that higher functionality for your new anatomy. And as that comes to you, I want you to take a deep breath, please. And I call forth the activation for that in your new energetic anatomy. Let's breathe, please. Now we move into the third chakra, which is your solar plexus. And the color that potentially could come to you, different shades of yellow, possibly even gold. Sometimes within this new anatomy, even within the solar plexus, it could be a little bit of the burnt orange or yellow orange. It's almost like a merging of some of the sacral chakra energy that's coming up into the solar plexus. I often find there's a lot of unification that takes place in these different levels of activation. You're focusing on the colors. Ask specifically for the format, because that's what's coming up right now. Ask specifically for the format. That will be leveraged in your new anatomy. This is more about the context of the beingness, in a sense. The beingness of this chakra within the new energy body system. So I'm going to expand that just a little bit more, because the format could be something you need to focus on. Is I giving you the color yellow or the gold that may come up, the burnt orange, but it also could be that you focus on some type of, whether object or a sense of something that has the color yellow. So it could be that you actually focus on the sun. That also can represent the Christ energy, the Son of God energy. It can represent the warmth and the energy of the earth, what the sun gives off. You could also focus on the lemon. So whatever the format is, ask for the format and its relevance to the activation in your now new energetic anatomy. So give a few more moments for you to focus on that, or whatever that is. Okay, you're going to breathe again here. And I call for the activation of that new format in your new energetic anatomy. And it can definitely change forms, but whatever came up is the relevance for this time. So before we move forward, I want us to be in the space with those three chakras and everything that has been grounded and activated. And let's breathe into that. Take 5 deep breaths, and then I want you to hold on the 5th one for about 5 seconds. Okay, all right. So now we're going to move into the core, starting with your heart chakra. And the color green or pink will come into your awareness. So as you focus in on that particular color that comes up, be open to the heartbeat of humanity, feeling your oneness, feeling your connection to your humanitarian calling. And what does that reveal to you? Uniquely to you. You may start to get a sense of why you're really here, your importance of purpose in the present, what your heart-centered life and way of being and calling is. Like more like an entry level awareness to it. Take a nice deep breath, please. Let's sit in that heart space for just a little while longer. There's expansive energy around this. It's almost like cracking open to this newer dimension of yourself. And I get a sense it's doing some recoding within this new template of your new energy body, this expanded essence of your anatomy. There's so much healing energy right here. So I want to be in this space just a little while longer in the receptive mode to receive a more expanded context around this particular area. So as we're being in this space here, in this core space here, I want you to feel into the space of wholeness, the space of divine healing. Because there's so much right in here that even before we start going into these different levels of continuing with the chakras, you can already feel a sense of well-being at a higher level, that you can feel the expansiveness of healing and wholeness. Something awakening as this heart energy has been opened. And as you notice, we're not focusing on specific areas that need to be healed. It's as we focus into the new anatomy and the new energy body the healing is taking place on levels far beyond what your mind can comprehend. Not bringing awareness to any pain in the body, any traumas, but focusing on the new energy that is transforming, evolving, and recoding old data into this newer, expanded energy. Now, what could potentially happen is that some things can arise in terms of areas that needed healing, or you were aware of that needed healing even before this experience. But what it will reveal to you is this right now relevant in terms of what this means for this new experience that's being created in the present moment, and how the relevance of any context from things that were going on, maybe that serves in you being a healer in this next phase of the journey. So if something is coming up, I do want you to ask for the insight around how that relates to this new opening of your heart-centered way of beingness. Let's breathe that in. And I call forth the activation within your new energy body. This new expanded and ascended anatomy. What this means for you moving forward. Let's breathe that in, please. Okay. So now we're going to move to your throat chakra. I want you to focus on the color blue. This right here is about the activation of your new energetic voice. Let's start with what that could mean. Your new energetic voice. Get some context to that before we activate that as part of your new anatomy. So what's coming to me is the expression of higher truth, according to source definition and perspective. Communication of healing is coming up. How you speak healing into your own life, and you speak healing into others' lives. Any forms of communication come forth as agents of change for healing, whether it's through writing, whether it's through speaking, whether it's through arts, whether it's through dance, whether it's the voice coming through in multiple ways. Your body is an instrument to express and to communicate. It's speaking is what's coming up. It's articulating your energy, your energetic voice. This is a vibrational frequency, a vibrational countenance, that is no longer just the words that we communicate. It is the expression, the embodiment of this energetic way of being vocalized vibrationally. You may not get a sense of what that means at this moment. That's okay. What I'm being guided to do now is to actually just activate that awareness. And even if something has come up, you can anchor and ground that as well. So I call for the activation of all relevance of this new awareness around the energetic voice, the vocalization through vibration. Breathe that in, please. So now we're going to move into the brow chakra, also known as the third eye. And we're going to be very present with this energy because it kept coming up in terms of actually wanting to be a part of the ascended chakra. And traditionally, it's not, it's still part of the core in a sense. And even though it is in the upper chakra, so to speak, but not necessarily counted as the part of the Ascension Chakras. With the crown going into the 8th and the 9th. But because we are operating in newer energy, with new fundamentals, new foundations, new formations, and new form functionality, it very well could be that it is participating within the Ascension Chakras during this time. And that's the beautiful thing, of stepping outside of everything you've ever known about different schools of thoughts around perspectives and teachings. Is that in the present moment they can take on whatever forms they need to in order to facilitate this newer way of existing and thriving. So let's be present because there's wisdom and insight here for launching, is what I'm hearing, launching more into the ascended state of being with the higher ascension chakras. So I want you to focus on the color indigo. And normally this particular chakra does not sort of weave into a translucent type of state, but it actually could present itself as that way because I'm actually getting that right now. So there may be some white essence around it. Or you may feel a little movement with that. And so what's actually coming up now is seeing beyond, 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 beyond seeing. That's 3, beyond seeing, beyond, 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 beyond seeing. So this is about expanded insight. And this is going to be unique to you in your individuality in terms of this new anatomy. So that's a premise that you will receive the information unique to you for this expanded, expanded, expanded beyond, beyond, beyond insight, beyond the unseen. Certainly moving you into a grander dimension of intuitive awareness, intuitive intelligence, and what your third eye wants to reveal, that brow chakra wants to reveal. Ascended awareness is what's coming up. So let's ask what that means for you in terms of your greater purpose. So ask, is there anything else that you need to know? That expanded, expanded, expanded insight. What do you most need to know versus see? The seeing and knowing seem to be unified at this moment. Take about 3 deep breaths, please. It's interesting, I'm feeling some compounding energy, which means it's layered. It's like various dimensions all merging into a collective insight. And if you can feel that energy, ask what does that mean for you? It could be evolution, compacting itself. It's an accumulation. And I'm getting a greater sense in terms of why this particular chakra kept not interrupting me, so to speak, but kept wanting to integrate itself into the Ascension Chakras. So again, but I want you to receive for yourself what this means for you. And then I will call forth the activation. But I just feel that we need to be in this space a little bit longer. You can feel into the depth of what this expansion is the beyond, beyond, beyond. Because this supports this next level. So at this time, I call forth the activation for this compound, expansive energy of insight and wisdom, the deeper context of intuitive intelligence for higher spiritual ascendant awareness, the activation of this in the new energy body anatomy, anchoring this for the more expanded purpose, higher divine awareness, new life principles, practices, and potential possibilities, and perception beyond the known that has been known into the unknown, the seen, then the unseen. Take a deep breath, please. Now we move into the Crown Chakra. As we begin into the Ascension Chakras. So your awareness may come in that chakra as the color purple or violet, possibly white. Take a nice deep breath, please. Divine dominion of you is what's coming up. The source of your soul. The source of your soul's intention. Let's be right here for a moment because this is very potent. And if you can't feel healing energy going through you or new vitality just flowing, new energy, I can feel the activation of all that has come before this point. Let's immerse into this moment here, into the sense of that, this chakra. Just the energy, the activation of the energy body at this level. The ascension of you as a source extension. You're preparing to take flight. Aviation. Mhm. Let's be in this space here. I want you to be in a higher level of receptivity. Back into that blank space, blank slate energy, but at this higher, expanded. Just way of being present. This is where the information is going to start to fill in more for you of your unique individuality. Divine dominion of you. This is your truth. This is the launching pad, if you will, into the greater expansion of that unique divine source, essence, and expression. Royalty and richness is what's coming up. Whether you're seeing the violet or the white, it is purity, purification. A reset is what I'm hearing. A restore. But it's not necessarily a restore and a reset in a return to something that has been or something that you've known. It's the illumination of the newer context to the truth of your divine expression, your divine energy, your true birth, your true royalty, your true birthright, being of the royal priesthood, the royal bloodline, but with full awareness of what that means during this time, during this era, what your role is in life. The crown of your calling is what's coming up. The crown of your calling, your call to life itself. The reason why you are a divine extension, divine expression incarnated. Why did you come here? It's all contained within this wisdom of this particular chakra energies. And why the call to ascend, to take flight, to aviate, so that you're into the higher awareness of your anatomy. Why that anatomy is important during this time. Just be with this space and this energy. Feel into your royalty, into that richness. And ask, what does that mean for you during this time? It may reveal an action to take, an awareness to hold on to. Breathe. And I call forth the activation of your new energetic anatomy. as it relates to the divine dominion of you. Let's breathe that in as we prepare to ascend into the higher chakras, the 8th and 9th. The feeling to the 7 chakras just coming more aligned. Feel that activation. Feel the newness of your anatomy because it is pulsating at this point. Feel yourself anew because you're about to ascend into a realm of healing, wholeness, understanding, expanded of what you've grounded, and merging with pre-existing wisdom and evolution that you've had prior to this experience. Oh, this is magnificent. So let's breathe into this. So we're going to ascend into a more luminous awareness at this time, to be in the space of the 8th and the 9th chakra. Those chakras, the start of the ascension from the crown and then coming out of the body. These are chakras that are often taught about. And in some regards, there hasn't been a big need because there's been so much to anchor within the physical, energetic anatomy within the body. But because of where we have shifted in humanity's evolution and consciousness, vibrational awareness, now more people are needing to have more of the fulfillment in terms of their ascension journeys. And again, this is in a non-New Age context in which I'm speaking vibrationally. This all pertains to your unique individuality. This is going to illuminate all that is relevant for your truth in the present, and why there's the need now to be in relationship, if you will, with these particular chakras. And so without focusing on colors or context around these particular chakras, the awareness that you need to hone in on is the fact that these are here as higher level supports to your new expanded evolution in this new anatomy. So though we know that the root chakra is the one that anchors it all and keeps you rooted and grounded, but this luminous cord that connects the 8th and the 9th chakra really brings it all together. It's really what's actually, in a sense, an ascension grounding or ascended anchoring in a sense, holding you up as you're grounded. You can imagine yourself being a tree where you are rooted, but you are stretching up and branching out into the heavens. What's illuminating for you right now? What's becoming more luminous? This space in the 8th and the 9th chakra. It's almost like these are twins at this point. And though they aren't, but that's the functionality. They're almost one. And I'm naming it almost as chakra in a sense, because they are two individual chakras, but feel so connected as one. Unification. This is really representing a source connection at a higher level. So I'm being guided to bring up or ask you, invite you to ask about the higher intention, the need to ascend now. What is that for you? Why are you being invited during this time to venture into the 8th and the 9th chakra chambers? Take a deep breath, please, and breathe. I call forth the activation of that higher intention and awareness for the individuality into the new energetic body and anatomy, for the right now higher relevance of the 8th and the 9th chakras as it relates to the divine purpose and higher spiritual awareness and ascension during this time. Breathe. I call forth the activation for the accumulation of this process, the activation of this new anatomy, subtle energy body, alivened, quickened, evolved, and ready to optimize in this new human experience and higher purpose for living and understanding the soul's mission and assignment during this time. And the intention of healing on all levels, that the healer within may be activated and ready to facilitate the next level of calling and higher service. Everyone take a nice deep breath, please. You're activated in your new energy body during this time. The start of the journey in your new anatomy. And thank you for being here and receiving this gift. Take a deep breath, please. And rest in the knowing that your new anatomy now activated. And be well. Be blessed.